Hey YouTube, okay, so while I'm off, you know, like everybody is, not that it really affects me because I work from home anyway, but what I wanted to do is I want to rewire my house network wise to stop the Wi-Fi being so congested, because at the moment when the kids are on, they take up the Wi-Fi bandwidth with their videos and their you know, I've got one kid who will sit there and will do a telephone conference call, you know, a Skype call, while playing Roblox, while streaming a YouTube video, you know, for all these different devices all going off at the same time. So, and when they all do that, I sit down to watch a film, and the Fire Stick is over Wi-Fi. Well, guess what? You can't stream anything. It just completely dies. It's just not enough speed. And the reason being is that the Fire Stick still uses the old 54 megabit, whatever it is it the B or the G or G network, rather than using the N or the AC or whatever the new ones are. So anyway, what I want to do is hardwire the whole house. So I'm going to run cables up and down. I've got a server that I want to put into a server room. I've got a cupboard out in the hallway, and that's what I want to do. I want to move it all across. So let me show you the server and show you the server room. Right, so what I'm planning on doing is, at the moment I've got a server down there. You can't quite see it. Maybe if we do that, you can see the back of it. It's a 1U 19-inch server. It's quite a nice one. It's 32 cores, 64 gig of RAM, but it's in the corner of my games room, which is where all my games are and consoles and, you know, all of this stuff, and it blows noisy, as you can hear. And this is just a rechargeable power pack for my drill. Anyway, the server's underneath it, sitting there. Underneath that there is a, if I can focus, there we go, a NAS. So the NAS is the hard drive for the server, and it is connecting via iSCSI through the network port on the back, which then allows it to be diskless. So there's no hard drive in this server. The server's running Docker. It's got lots of microservices on there, lots of stuff I just play with. But yeah, so that's running there. And then there's a UPS, which is down on the floor down there somewhere. So it's a bit of a mess. It's a bit of a mess. So what I want to do is I want to create a server room. Now I've got other things as well, like I've got these nooks here, which eventually I want to move over onto that server, all of the things that are running on there. Another UPS up there and switches, and basically the network in this house is all Wi-Fi apart from this area here. And what that does is that congests the Wi-Fi, because you know, there's too many devices on there. You've got all the Alexas and the iPads and the phones, and you try to watch TV and you fire up a Fire Stick and it can't do anything. So I want to make most of it into Ethernet. So my plan is this. So there's the server there, and just outside here we go through the doorway that I dug, and then just in the corridor here, if I turn the light on, I'll be able to see a bit better, there's this cupboard. So in the corridor there's a cupboard, and in the cupboard there is nothing, just you know, just bits. Now this cupboard is quite interesting, because the wall at the back of the cupboard is actually a bit closer than the wall in the room next to it. The wall in the room next to it goes a lot further back. So you think, ah, right, why is that wall so much closer? And the reason it's so much closer is because behind that wall is the downpipe for the toilets on the middle floor and the bathroom on the top floor. So what I can do is I can use this room this room, this cupboard, for my new server room, and then run the cables through the whole house using this pipe area behind the wall to get to the different floors. Anyway, that's the plan, and let's see how it goes. Okay, so this is my plan, and hopefully it's bright enough and we'll be able to see this. I probably won't use that pen, I'm going to use this pen. Okay, so right, so StuCAD. This is the patented super duper design software that I'm going to use to design the network layout. So the building is on 3 floors. So and then on each floor there is 3 rooms. So the way that it works, and then there's a central staircase up the middle. So we're currently in this room here, which is the games room, which is a converted garage. So this is the games room. So games room, and this is where my desk is. So this is where I want you know, a good connection to, because I want to be able to copy things and all that sort of thing. Then you have the corridor where the staircase is and where the cabinet, the new server room is going to be. And then you have a bedroom here. So there's a bedroom on the bottom floor, which is then the back door. And so this is the front door, this is the back door. And then this is the bedroom. So this is bed 1, we'll call it. And then we have the server room here. So we'll just call this server room. So server room. Okay. Now, I can't get from the games room to the server room because, well, I could. Well, I don't know if I can. There's no way of doing it under the floor because this is solid concrete. Possibly could do it over the top through the ceiling, but the room that I'm in, because it is a garage that I've just knocked a hole through the wall, I think that wall goes all the way up through the house, which means I'd have to drill through the wall just to even find out if I can go through the ceiling. So it's a no-go, in other words. Okay, so it continues up. I won't go too far because there was another floor. So it's a townhouse. It's a townhouse. So we have the kitchen stroke dining room, and then we have the lounge. And now the lounge is where the internet connection comes in. That's where the DSL comes into the house. Now there must be a cable somewhere, maybe it does go through the floor, maybe it goes through the wall, I don't know, but the DSL line is in the lounge and it's next to the staircase. Okay, then above that, oh, I've gone too far, see, so we'll forget that bit there, we'll pretend that's as far as I've gone. Above that is then master bedroom here, we'll call that 2 for now, and then there are 2 bedrooms side by side here. But looking down on it, it would be split. But looking obviously from a side view, you can't see that there's 2 bedrooms. So we'd say, so bed 3 and bed 4. Okay. So again, this is a staircase going up, leading to all of these. This is how townhouses are in England. And then on the top here, we've got the attic. So that's where the attic space is. Now, what I currently have is I've got one IP camera. PoE camera on the front of the house. I've got a second one in the bedroom, but it's on the inside of the window, and this is why I want the network, so it can go on the outside, and also the PoE, I want it from a single point. So I'm going to, so the plan is this, I need a PoE switch up here, which can connect to cameras on the front and the back of the house. So I need to run a network cable from this camera going up into the attic and to the PoE, one for this camera going to the PoE and one to this camera going to the PoE. So that will take care of the the cameras, but that needs power. There's no power in the attic. But what I do have is I have a big long shaft coming down to the server room, and it sort of goes down this wall, and it's the stench pipe and the fan exhaust for the fans, the extractor fans in the bathrooms. So the bathroom. So even though this is a staircase, because we're looking at it on a side view, it's also where the bathroom is. And under here there is a second toilet, WC in England, water closet. And so both of those have toilets, and this is then a downpipe which goes down and then under the building. So because there is space, and this downpipe has been put behind a plasterboard enclosure going all the way down the house, this actually means that there is a clear run from the attic all the way down to this server room cupboard. So that's what I'm going to do. Now next to the server room cupboard, there's no real more space, it's not 3D, but next to the server room cupboard, I'll just put it like this, is the boiler room. And when I say boiler room, it is a storage water tank for the hot water. It's also the piping from the combination boiler and all of that sort of stuff. So it's another cupboard, but it's a bit bigger and deeper because it has the tank in there, but it's right next to the server room. Now why do I mention this? Because this has power. So there is electrical power to power the coil that's inside the boiler and things like that. So very high power going into this room, which is great. So it's got its own circuit going off to the main distribution. So I can tap into that to bring power into the server room next door. You know, literally, it's just a plasterboard wall separating the two rooms. So I just run a cable through, wire it in, and now I've got power. So now I've got power to the server room. I can then run that power up to the attic, put a box on the wall, and connect it to the PoE. So now I've got the power going up to the PoE. Now why, you could say, why not just run the cable all the way from the camera all the way down to the server room? And the reason being is, number one is I don't have that much cable. Two is that if it breaks at any point, it's going to be really hard to troubleshoot such a long length of cable inside my house. And so what I would like to do is run from the PoE a network cable coming down to a patch panel in the server room, so I can patch that PoE switch with just the data, and then that will have its own separate NAS box where it will store the videos. So it's its own network and its own NAS. So that would be a direct connection. Then what I want is a switch up here, just a small passive gigabit switch, which will also be powered by this. See, this is why I'm running the power up there. So then I can run a data cable from the server room up to this gigabit switch. This gigabit switch can then, and this is why I was saying rather than leap across from the server room to the games room, is this gigabit switch will allow me to start connecting things together. So I can have network into the bedroom, I can have network into these bedrooms, because there's two bedrooms here. I can then run, and this is going to look strange, I want the DSL, now this is where I will have a long cable, I want the DSL to go up, so this is where I go up inside these walls. So these are plasterboard walls with brick, but they're brick going that direction, so I can't just, well, I could drill through it, but I don't want the hassle of that. I'm just going to run up the inside of the plaster from the DSL, have the DSL come down the downpipe into the server room. So then I can do things like I could have a proxy down here, that sort of thing. So run the DSL down, run data back up, so I have another data which will then give gigabit to the other rooms. So I've got a 16 port passive switch there, so that will allow me to run many cables, and one of those cables will be coming all the way down to the lounge, and then another one will keep going all the way down into where I am right now, which is in the games room. So it's a bit strange, but because of the layout of the house, there's a corridor between the games room and the server room. There's a corridor here. If I do a top-down view of the house, so I'm in the games room like this, like that, and then there is a corridor like this, and the games room sort of goes around like that. There is a door like that. This is the washing machine room. This is where the server room would be. This is where the boiler room would be. Then there's the bedroom there, and then this is where the staircase starts, like that, and then it starts going up round like that. So that's pretty much the first house, the first floor. So I don't want to go from the games room across the ceiling into here. I'd rather do this plan, which is to go up the inside of the. It's like as I say, a straight run from the attic down to this room. So let's use it. So straight run from the attic down to this room, and then that will then allow me to put put the server, mount the server against the wall in here. Would be nice, and then put a switch up here, 2 switches, one passive switch for all of the rooms, and then just run cables down to all of the rooms, and one PoE switch for the cameras, 2 data cables, one for the cameras, one for data, and then a single run from the DSL down to the server room, and then everything will be then patched in here and then routed where it needs to go. So that's my plan.